We've all been there. That moment you start a workout and suddenly you can feel your heart just pounding in your chest. It might feel like chaos, but it's actually the complete opposite. It's the beginning of this incredible, perfectly choreographed story unfolding inside you. And today we're going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly what's happening, step by amazing step.
Right? That feeling is universal. You could be sprinting for the train or hitting a new personal best at the gym, and bam, your heart starts hammering away. Well, that's not random. That's actually the opening scene of a brilliant biological performance. So let's break down what your body is doing, and trust me, why it's so incredibly smart. So where does this whole chain reaction even start? Well, it all kicks off the instant you decide to move. Think of that decision as a starting pistol firing inside your body. And the first thing to react isn't your heart, it's not your lungs. The very first signal is an urgent SOS coming directly from your muscles.
And here it is. This is the core problem your body has to solve in a split second. Your muscles are suddenly burning through fuel like crazy. And to burn that fuel, what do they need? Oxygen. Lots of it. So they send out this system-wide red alert that basically says, hey, we need more O2 down here, and we mean now.
And who's the first responder to that emergency call? You guessed it, your heart. You can think of it as the central engine for your entire system. It gets that SOS from the muscles and immediately kicks into high gear to solve this massive supply and demand crisis.
Now, to really get how the heart pulls this off, we have to look at one key metric. It's called cardiac output, or just Q for short. All this is the total amount of blood your heart manages to pump out in 1 single minute. It's the ultimate performance stat for your body's engine.
And the formula for this? It's beautifully simple. Your cardiac output is just two things multiplied together. First, your heart rate, that's how fast your heart is beating, and second, your stroke volume, that's how much blood it pushes out with each and every one of those beats. Let's see how your body plays with these two little levers.
Okay, so here's our baseline. Right now, as you're just sitting here, your heart's just kind of ticking along at a nice, calm pace, maybe 70 beats per minute. It's in cruise control, just doing routine maintenance. You know, keeping the lights on.
But the second that emergency call comes in from your muscles, whoa, your heart rate absolutely skyrockets. It can more than double, jumping way up to 170 beats per minute, sometimes even higher. Your heart is cranking up the speed of its pumps to get more blood and therefore more oxygen out into the system.
But here's the thing. It's not just about going faster. Your body's way smarter than that. Each individual heartbeat also becomes more powerful. The heart literally contracts with more force, which increases the stroke volume, the amount of blood that gets shoved out with every single pump. So you're not just getting more deliveries per minute. Each delivery is bigger too.
And this is where it just gets mind-blowing. When you multiply that much faster heart rate by that much more powerful stroke volume, the results are explosive. Your total cardiac output, the sheer volume of oxygen-rich blood flooding your system, can increase by a staggering 400%. That is a 4-fold increase in output, all happening in a matter of moments.
You might be wondering, how does the heart get enough blood in to pump that much out? Well, your body has this genius little trick. As your muscles contract and you start breathing deeper, you are physically squeezing your veins. This pushes blood back towards the heart, which gives it more fuel to pump right back out. It's this brilliant self-reinforcing loop.
Okay, so your heart is now a super pump, pushing out 4 times as much blood. But pumping it is only half the battle. The next part of the story, which is just as brilliant, is making sure all that extra blood goes to exactly the right place. Your body essentially becomes a super intelligent traffic grid, rerouting its supply lines in real time.
Just take a look at this. When you're at rest, most of your blood supply is routed to your internal organs. Think your digestive system, your kidneys, your muscles. They're only getting a tiny little slice of the pie because, well, they don't really need it. This is your body's standard peacetime operation.
But the second you start exercising, bam, look at that change. It's a total reversal. Your body completely flips its priorities. It starts diverting blood away from the organs that aren't critical in that moment. Sorry, digestion, you're just going to have to wait. And shunts it all to the working muscles. Their slice of the pie becomes absolutely enormous because that's where the action is. So the big question is how? How does your body physically redirect all that traffic so perfectly? It's not magic. It's all down to a seriously elegant system of biological plumbing that controls blood flow with incredible precision.
Here's the secret sauce. Your body does two completely opposite things at the exact same time. In your working muscles, the blood vessels perform what's called vasodilation. They literally get wider, opening the floodgates for more blood. At the same time, in areas like your gut, the vessels do the opposite, vasoconstriction. They get narrower, restricting blood flow. It's genius. It's like opening up a 6-lane highway to the muscles while closing down all the side streets.
Now, you've opened up the highway, but you still need to get the traffic moving fast, right? To make sure all that rerouted blood moves quickly through these newly widened channels, your body increases the overall pressure in the system. That's why your systolic blood pressure, the top number when you get it checked, goes up during exercise. It's the force that's pushing that blood to your muscles at high speed.
So, the engine has been supercharged. The traffic has been rerouted. But did it work? Is there any way to actually prove that the muscles got the oxygen they were screaming for? Well, it turns out we can measure the success of this whole operation with incredible precision.
And that measurement is called the AVO2 difference. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but the idea is actually really simple. Scientists just measure the amount of oxygen in the blood going into a muscle, and then they compare it to the oxygen in the blood coming out of that muscle. That difference tells you exactly how much oxygen the muscle gobbled up.
And this chart says it all. At rest, your muscles are just kind of sipping at the oxygen that flows by. The blood coming out of them is still pretty rich in O2. But during exercise, your muscles become absolute oxygen-sucking machines. They pull almost all of it out of the blood. This is the proof right here. Mission accomplished.
So let's just quickly recap this whole amazing cascade. It starts with the SOS from the muscles. In response, your heart pumps harder and faster, massively increasing cardiac output. Then, your body acts like a master traffic controller, rerouting blood to the muscles by opening and closing vessels all over the place. And finally, those muscles get incredibly good at extracting every last drop of oxygen they need. It is a perfect, coordinated masterclass in logistics.
When you really stop and think about it, it's not just biology, is it? It's a high-performance machine that you have access to every single day, an engine that can quadruple its output, and a logistics network that can redirect its entire supply chain in seconds, all without you thinking about it. So the only question left is, knowing what your body is truly capable of, how are you going to put it to the test?